Hari Om, Bhagavad Gita, Moksha Sannyasa Yoga, chapter 18, verse 40. Bhagwan Krishna in the last verse said, Tamasic happiness from beginning to end, it deludes the self. It arises due to sleep, laziness, and heedlessness. That is what Bhagwan Krishna said in verse 39. Now, verse 40. Nadadati pradhivyam vam divi deveshu va punagam sattvam prakriti jair muktam yade bhisyatri gunai. Swami Dayananda Saraswati says, Sattva, the first word in the second line of this verse. Sattvam prakriti jair muktam. The word sattva there means an existent living being. It could be plants, animals, insects, birds, or human beings. Any living being. All living beings are subject to these three gunas. Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Everybody. No one is an exception. This applies to even celestial beings like Devas. Indra, Vayu, Agni, you take anyone. Even they are subject to these three gunas. These three gunas are born out of Prakriti, which is Maya. So we have already seen several times. We are all under the control of Maya. Maya is under the control of Bhagwan Krishna. Fundamental difference. That we should always keep that in mind. In human beings, all these three gunas are present. But one of these gunas is predominant at any given point in time. So you can say, when I am reading Bhagavad Gita, then the predominant guna is sattva. These three gunas are the reasons for the four major groups. Bhagavan has already classified. Chadurvarnyam maya srishtam. It's not that anything. Putting it into different baskets. All the human beings, the entire universe, they are put into different four baskets. Finish. With millions of shades of differences. No one is superior, no one is inferior. But mangoes, you take mangoes, several varieties of mangoes. Alfonsa, you put in one bag. Malgova, you put in another bag. Bainganballi, you put in another bag. And then another ordinary one. For mangoes, as it is mangoes, no difference. Its taste is because different. Each taste is different. Similarly, Bhagavan has classified the entire human class of beings, human beings, into four different baskets. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra. All of them, Bhagavan already said, it is based on guna and karma. Guna karma vibhagashaka. Swami Dayananda Saraswati says, division on the basis of guna is universal. But division on the basis of karma, it is largely gone, unfortunately, even in India. For example, a Brahmin may be owning a leather factory or trading in some community or practicing law. So, karma is gone. Based on karma is gone. But guna still exists. That is what Swami Dayananda Saraswati says. Swami Dayananda Saraswati quotes Adi Shankara, who introduces the fourfold division based on guna and karma. Guna and karma, these two are very, very important words. Adi Shankara says samsara is based out of cause of action and results of action. It is a cause and effect policy. Already it has been beautifully explained by Bhagwan in chapter 15. Because of the results of action, there is birth. We are born. Because of birth, we do action. Again, because of action, there is punya or papa. And again, to exhaust that punya or papa, that is sin, you again get a birth. This cycle goes on and on and on and on and on. How many crores of janmas we have taken, we do not know. The cycle continues. Why? What is the reason? Because of the presence of these three gunas in different proportions. Swami Dayananda Saraswati here puts a question. For whom is this samsara? It is only for Atma, because samsara cannot exist without I, the notion I. Without that I, samsara cannot exist. Though Atma is not the cause, but it is the basis for samsara. We have to understand this. Though Atma is not the cause, but it is the basis for samsara. Then the question is, how Satchit Ananda? Because Atma is Satchit Ananda, complete happiness, complete knowledge. How this Ananda Atma, it can become the basis for samsara? The answer is, it is superimposed on Atma due to ignorance. So the oft-quoted example of Adi Shankara, if you remember, rope and snake. When you were going out of your house, you saw a snake. You came running inside the house. Ah, snake, snake, snake. Then when you told your father said, you are a fool. Then he brought a torchlight and showed you. It's a rope. It is not a snake. It was a rope. Snake does not exist, but the basis for its appearance is a rope. Similarly, Atma, the basis for samsara is superimposition on Atma. I am the doer, I am the enjoyer, is the root of all samsaras. Then the question is, how to cut this samsara? I want to escape from this cycle of birth and death. Yet all we have to born in this dukkhalaya and then cry. What is the way out? Bhagwan Krishna simply said, Asanga satrena dridena chitra. That is, it can be cut only by the acts of detachment, by nothing else. The entire tree, root, everyone without exception is under the spell of these three gunas. If you want to get rid of samsara, you have to get rid of these three gunas. As long as you are under their spell, you cannot get rid of this samsara cycle. So what is the chain that ties me to samsara? It is nothing but sattva, rajas and tamas, these three gunas. Swami Dayananda Saraswati says one is a gold chain. Sattva chain is a gold chain. Rajas is a silver chain. Tamas is a iron chain. As long as my hands and legs are tied to gold chain or silver chain or tamas chain, I will definitely suffer. With what metal the chain is made, it makes no difference. I am tied, finish. So you have to cut the chains, the divisions, that is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Sudra. They are made only for the purpose of attaining moksha. That is the aim of birth, human birth. So all this has been said only as a prelude for the verses that are going to come. So if you take the verse alone, then the meaning is every living being, whether it is human being or it is deva who are living in the heavens, all are subject to these three gunas. That is sattva, rajas and tamas. Swami Chinmayananda says the exhaustive description of the three gunas upon the personality of living organisms have been concluded by Bhagwan Krishna in the last verse. A psychological explanation for the variety of men and their behavior in the world of plurality is well explained by Bhagwan Krishna. The three types of beings having been described exhaustively by giving a complete analysis of what is knowledge, what is action, who is the agent. Then the two, the buddhi and dhriti, all these five factors are responsible for all actions. Swami Chinmayananda, again he says, he wants to make this point very clear to all of us, the students of Bhagavad Gita. It is not to classify others. Don't say this fellow is tamasic fellow, that fellow is a rajasic fellow. Everyone is a sattvic person or a sattvic person or a rajasic person or a tamasic person. You have to, every minute you have to be aware of yourself. What is the predominant guna in you? And correct yourself. For me, I have to look into my guna. Presently, it is dominated by sattva. So, happy. So, whenever rajas comes, immediately I have to move to sattva. Whenever tamas comes, immediately I have to move to sattva. So, don't look into others and say, this fellow is tamasic, that fellow is rajasic. Look at yourself. This is Bhagavad Gita itself is a mirror. That is what Swami Chinmayananda says. Bhagwan in this verse says, there is no creature either on the earth or even among the gods in heaven who is totally free from the influence of these three gunas. No living creature can work beyond the frontiers set by these three gunas. Nature, that is Prakriti, is constituted of these three gunas. The play of these three gunas is the very expression of Prakriti. No two creatures react in the same way to a particular situation in this world. You give one situation, how many people react in different manner to that situation? We can see it. Why? What is the reason? This is due to proportion in which these gunas come to influence each one of us. These three gunas put together are manifestation of Maya. Individuals differ from one another because of predominant guna that rules over them at a particular point in time. I have already said this. At present, I am governed by Sattva Guna. I am reading Bhagavad Gita. So, Sattva Guna. The predominant guna now is Sattva. Similarly, after 5 minutes, after 1 hour, if you come, I will shout at you. Rajas or Tamas will be there. I have to get over that. Then only I can become Agabahu. Otherwise, not. It is this Maya that gives them their individuality, each one's individuality. An individual cannot exist without all these three gunas. All people, including a sannyasi, will have these three gunas. No one is an exception. That is why Bhagwan says, from the lowest creature to the highest devas, All of them are governed by these three gunas. Proportion may vary from individual to individual, but all the three gunas exist. He who has transcended these three gunas comes to experience the infinite. That is what we saw yesterday. In your deep sleep, you have transcended all these three gunas. Then you merge with yourself. You are happily sleeping. Wonderful sleep. But you don't appreciate that. You don't feel it. You are one with yourself, but you don't know about it. The one who has transcended these three gunas, he can only experience the infinite. So Swami Chinmayananda says, let us introspect and evaluate ourselves every day, every minute. Let us avoid the lower gunas and steadily work ourselves towards the sattvic state. Only after reaching the sattvic state, mind will become calm and cool. Then you can move to the next stage, perfection absolute. Based on gunas, Bhagwan Krishna classifies the human beings under three different distinct types: sattva, rajas, and tamas. This classification is based not by birth, it is based on your inner equipment, mind. Swami Chinmayananda says the four kinds of classifications of human beings. Bhagavan classified them: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra. This is not determined by birth. The classification holds good and is universal even today. But it is based on guna and karma. So everybody, even in India, if you ask, "Hey, sir, India, Hinduism, everything is fine. But there is a classification: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra. It is worst one, sir. It should not be there. Caste, the system should not be there. Unless you are a thorough fool, absolute idiot, you will not speak about that. If you understand it clearly, then definitely you will not speak about against this. Because any country, go to any country, whichever country you want, it must have a creative thinkers. Two, the army officers, army it should have. Three, traders, there must be traders. Four, laborers must be there. All the four must be there. Otherwise, a country cannot survive. I can give it in writing. Unless you are an absolute fool. Or company, you take company. There must be a creative thinker who can judge. Why Kodak is not there today? They could not visualize world is going to change after 10 years. I know the cameras. I used to put that film roll. And then after 30 clicks or 20 clicks, the film will be over. You go to the shop, you give it to them, take a photograph, and then come back. They could not see. Creative thinkers must be there. Down the line, 20 years, how the world will change. Now see, everything has changed. Sitting in your house, you can order everything. Sitting in your house, you can book the train ticket. Earlier, when we used to go and stand, even without turning the book, you will say, no, the train is full. You go. World has changed. So thinkers are necessary. Similarly, without army, naturally the next fellow will enter. If you don't have a powerful army, he will enter and finish all of you. Take your wealth. Even girls, they will take. The army when it enters the enemy army, that will do it. So army men are necessary. Kshatriyas are necessary. Strong people who can protect the country. Third, traders. Traders are a must. Without traders, how a country can? You and I cannot eat. How can I eat rice daily in my plate? The vegetables grown somewhere comes to the market somewhere. All this comes to some market in Chennai. and then it comes to my plate, to the local shop, and then from there I buy and get it on the plate. Without traders, how the laborers? Somebody must work in the field. A trader himself cannot do the work. A army man cannot go and work. A thinker cannot go and work. Huge number of laborers. Laborers will be always huge. You take any company, number of laborers will be more. Without these four, no company can survive, no country can survive. Now, if we ourselves do not understand and speak against it, what is the point? So, Bhagwan has classified this into four different baskets. All the human beings, based on guna and karma, not only by birth. That is the point. Bhagwan, in the following stanzas, try to make Arjuna understand that his inner nature is Kshatriya. Hey Arjuna, you want to become a Brahmana immediately, a sannyasi immediately. But your equipment, mental equipment, is Kshatriya. Being a Kshatriya, your duty is to fight. You have to fight for Dharma. Establish the rule of Dharma in the country. That is your job. At your present level, at your present state of mind, given the composition of your mind, you cannot go and contemplate. Sit in a jungle or a cave and contemplate. First you mature, exhaust your vasanas. First fight, exhaust your vasanas, then contemplate. The only path left for Arjuna is to act vigorously in the field, that is in the war. Exhaust his vasanas, and then you move on to the sattvic state. That is what Bhagwan is going to say in the following verses. Verse 40 again. Whatever has been given by Swami Dayananda Saraswati and Swami Chinmayananda before beginning the next topic, these are all very, very important for the students of Bhagavad Gita to understand. So they have given elaborately, I have given it entirely. Verse 40 again. Nadadasti pradhivyam vam divi deveshu va punaham sattvam prakriti jair muktam yade visyatri birgunaihi. Next verse tomorrow. Arihom sarvam krishnarpanamastu. Narayana 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 Narayana